Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Sean Mooney. Today marked the second execution in Arizona in just the last month. Frank Jarvis Atwood was sentenced to death in 1987 for the kidnapping and murder of Vicki Lynne Hoskinson, an 8-year-old girl from Tucson. Atwood was pronounced dead a little after 10 this morning. News 4 Tucson's Cora Nylander was in Florence for the execution today and has the story.
Well, Vicki Lynne Hoskinson's family's patience has finally paid off after all of these years. Frank Atwood, now an executed prisoner. Tonight will be the first sunset without Frank Atwood on this earth since the kidnapping and murder of Vicki Lynne Hoskinson in 1984, a day her family has long been waiting for.
Vicki, I want you to be free, little one. Rest easy, our precious little girl.
By 10:16 this morning, Atwood was dead, executed by lethal injection. A sentence that took nearly 38 years to carry out.
There have been repeated claims of innocence despite overwhelming evidence of guilt. The procedural history in this case has been described by one court as regrettably long.
Atwood maintaining his innocence all the way to the grave. No apology given to Vicki's family.
She was blessed with family and friends in her life. In her death, she did the same. You didn't have to personally know her to know Vicki, to love her.
Atwood's execution was the second in Arizona in less than a month. Those two executions, the first in the state since 2014. Reporting from Florence, Cora Nylander, News 4 Tucson.
News 4 Tucson's Lupita Murillo has been covering this story since the day Vicki Lynne had first vanished nearly 4 decades ago. Today, she served as a media witness for Atwood's execution and has more on today's events.
It took about half an hour to prepare Frank Atwood for his execution. At 10:04, the execution order was read. 6 minutes later, he was sedated. And at 10:16, the execution was complete. A news conference was held immediately after Atwood's death, along with 2 other media witnesses chosen by the state, spoke about what we saw.
It's come full circle. I was there the night that this happened, and I was there this morning when he took his last breath, and that was it. I kept thinking myself of what little Vicki Lynne was going through when he was convicted of murdering her and kidnapping her. I kept thinking of that as he lay on the gurney, and he just took a couple of breaths, and at one point it was like he was snoring, and then he closed his eyes, and then that was it. It was very peaceful, and I, like Bud, have witnessed several executions. This has been by far the most calm. There wasn't any jerking movements on his part like I've seen in the past, and let's just say that the state carried out the law. He is dead.
That was Lupita Murillo reporting. Vicki Lynne's family waited an agonizing 38 years for this day to finally arrive. Tonight, we remember the blue-eyed, freckled 8-year-old girl whose disappearance and killing changed the city of Tucson forever. News 4 Tucson's Eric Fink joins us now live, where Vicki Lynne went to school, with that part of our coverage. Good evening, Eric.
Sean, good evening to you. We have been outside here, Homer Davis Elementary, the last couple of nights. Vicki lived just down the road from here. She had just started 3rd grade in September 1984. She was born February 2nd, 1976, Groundhog Day. And her mother says in her all too short life, her daughter made an imprint.
When Vicki was little, she had a hard time pronouncing her G's, and she called it Hound Dog Day. This stuck, and is how our family to this day refers to it.
A flood of emotions and memories coming back for Debbie Carlson as she and her family waited almost 4 decades for justice. Vicki Lynne Hoskinson was a spunky 8-year-old who loved her family deeply and her grandma's cooking.
She loved her Nana's tacos the most. She could put away 5 tacos without batting an eye, and she was only 8.
Debbie says her little girl's love of softball was evident, and parts of Vicki still shine in the next generation.
Vicki was a vibrant little girl with an infectious laugh and a smile that would melt your heart. Her royal blue eyes reflected an old soul of wisdom, and her freckled nose was unique, and we are blessed to see it in our grandchildren today.
Wednesday morning, Debbie talked about the closeness she and Vicki shared.
Vicki was smart, she was witty, kind, and loving. She had a temper. People say she was a mini-me. I'm really proud of that.
A mother who spent more than half her life without her daughter, showing both the pride and the pain she feels every day.
May your spirit soar as it continues to live with us, in us, and through us forever.
And her mom says Vicki was feisty. She says Vicki always kept you on your toes and will forever be known as Dennis the Menace, a nickname her grandfather gave her. Live tonight on the Northwest Side, I'm Eric Fink, News 4, Tucson. Back to you.